If you're watching this video, congrats, you're probably pretty smart, you're ambitious, you've worked really hard, you probably got a degree and were told to go down the corporate ladder, but you're miserable. You did literally everything that the entire world has told you to do, and yet you're still just kind of feeling like something's maybe missing. And now, if you're anything like me, you're watching all of these news feeds of people and businesses being laid off, and these companies laying off people that have been working for their business for decades. Really, where's that loyalty getting us? What is all the hard work, the hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loan debt really taking you? Well, if you've been watching the news, the answer is it's taking you into the unemployment office. The entire reason I'm making this video in the first place is because I think women above men are in a very, very unstable situation when it comes to working their corporate job. We already were looked at as a risk because we wanted to have families and we wanted to be able to, well, enjoy the life that we were given. And now more than ever, women are being laid off and shifting towards entrepreneurship, but I don't want you to feel stuck simply because you haven't done this before. There are so many women who are turning to entrepreneurship because they know that then their life is in their hands and their control. No more Sunday, scaries because you have to go to work on Monday. No more autopilot just cruising for the week, and then also the performance reviews or the performance improvement plan that you didn't even deserve in the first place. I want you to know that there is a way out when it comes to this entire corporate America, feeling like the stability that we all want is just on edge all the time. I want you to know that there's a different way to be living your life, and that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about inside of this video. This video is explicitly for the women that know that they want out, or at least want an extra income that they can make on the side of their corporate job. But maybe you've had the thought inside of your head, this just doesn't really work for people like me, and I promise it does, so I'm going to break it down here. If you're new here, my name is Natalie Draw. I live on a few acres in Nashville, Tennessee. I spend my weekends riding horses, and I went to college for marketing and advertising while I started a content creation agency on the side of my 19 hours of class curriculum every single week. That little business ended up exploding from few $100 UGC deals into hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month, and I ended up becoming a millionaire before I even turned 21, all because this business model worked for me. The only issue with this business model is that I can only be the face of so many different companies. It doesn't make sense for me to be the face of a Spanish-speaking company when I don't speak Spanish. It doesn't make sense for me to be the face of a tennis service because I don't play tennis. So I started sharing how I've been able to make this money with other women because I want women to know that entrepreneurship is on the table for them. But I also want you to know that you can become an entrepreneur and work in things that actually make you excited, which is exactly what I do. So with that being said, let's get into it. I think with corporate America, there's this really big illusion of safety. You get the 401k, you get the benefits, you get the salary, and I've never looked at it as being safe, ever. There's no safety involved with corporate America, and I think the reason that I believe that is because I grew up in a very entrepreneurial family, and I got to see the ebbs and flows of what entrepreneurship is, but there's also ebbs and flows of corporate America. I watched this happen to my family back in 2008 when people were getting laid off like crazy. We're watching it happen again with the rise of AI, and it's just insane to watch because so many people are shocked. They're absolutely shocked that they're being let off from the job that they've been working for the better part of a few decades or maybe even just a few years. Gen Z is shocked that they can't find a job right now, and I'm Gen Z as well, and I'm just not even taken aback by it. The reason why is because maybe I'm a little bit too type A, maybe I'm a little too controlling. You can put whatever label on me that you want to, but I've never thought that anything would be considered stable in my life if somebody else held my life in their hands. I've always known that I wanted to have my own income. I've always known that I wanted to be in control of my life. I didn't do well as a freshman in college because I had an RA telling me what I had to do, and that RA was just a few years older than me. I knew that corporate life was not going to work for me, but I also knew that I could absolutely take the entrepreneurial route, which is something that I very fortunately was exposed to growing up, which is exactly what I'm trying to do for you guys in this video. And I've got a few notes written down on my computer as well because I just want to give you guys actually tangible things that are going on inside of corporate America. But it's really jarring to see some of the what you would consider most stable companies in all of America doing these crazy layoffs. Amazon, 30,000 cuts. This is in 2026, by the way. Amazon just cut 30,000 employees. Meta and Microsoft was over 20,000 cuts. 92,000 tech workers have been laid off in 2026 alone, and it's not even May yet, which is just crazy. Then you look at companies like Oracle and Salesforce, and these aren't struggling companies. Like, they're not about to go under. but they're very, very profitable, but they're deciding to cut people to become more profitable so that way they can implement AI. Now, here's the insane piece of this as well, because I'm watching my own friends struggle with this too, and that is that these companies, how do I want to phrase this? These companies are demanding so much from Gen Z that just graduated. This last May, which should have been the year that I graduated college, but like I said, I dropped out to run my content creation agency, and a lot of my friends are having a tough time finding jobs. And the reason why is because so many of these companies have been able to train AI to do the entry-level positions. So now what these companies are looking for is people that have got 5, 10, 15, 20 years of experience in this field. So that way, those people don't necessarily have to do the job. They want those people to train the AI, this is what I'm watching happen right now every single day inside of companies that I even work with as a creator and on a consulting basis as well. These people that have got the experience, they are not even going into these companies to do the work that they once did. They're going in to train AI bots. So in a few years, even those higher level jobs could potentially be obsolete, which is insane. So the more the AI gets trained, the more obsolete these roles are going to be. So all of this to say, it's April 2026, and it's shocking that almost 100,000 people have been cut from their jobs. I don't think it's that jarring, to be really honest with you. And I want everyone to know that if you are in a stable job, if you're in a stable corporate job, your job is literally one Slack message away from somebody else deciding your fate into what your life is going to look like. Yeah, there might be benefits. Yes, there might be PTO, but hear me out. When you start your own company, you can go and work from wherever you want to. Even if you have a family, you can absolutely go and do that. I do that. I've worked from 3, 4 different continents at this point, probably about a dozen countries, and it's so possible. And so many people are just worried about losing these benefits. I promise, babe, the biggest benefit that you're going to have in your life is making sure that you're in control of it. That's the benefit. That is the benefit to living the life. That is the benefit to living life on your own terms. The risk isn't leaving your job anymore. The risk is staying and hoping that the person who has your life in their hands is gonna do good with it. My goodness, this is making me realize just how much of like a control freak I am, I guess, because I could never. I literally could never. I don't think I'd be able to sleep at night if I knew that my fate was in somebody else's hands. I wouldn't be able to do it. But here's the thing, that might be the scary part, but the beautiful piece of this is that if you've worked in corporate before, you actually have so many of the skills already that make a good entrepreneur. Now it's just up to you to start making use of them. Obviously, if you have a job right now, whether it's big corporate, small corporate, whatever it is, if you've got a job right now, you've specialized in these different skills, you've worked with these different platforms, which means that you've got a leg up that a lot of people maybe don't. Maybe you've done project management, maybe you've done client communications, maybe you've done sales, maybe you've done medical device sales, whatever that looks like. All of those are companies that you can create content for. Every single piece of software that you've ever worked with in your job, you could create content for because, hey, guess what? You actually know how to use it. You're the target demo, which means you could speak to that target demo through the content that you create. Do you guys see what I'm getting at here? Let's say you're a dental hygienist and there is specifically different platforms that you've got to use as a dental hygienist. Then great, you already know how to use those platforms. I sure as heck don't. I've never been a dental hygienist. I could never. I don't know how to do that, but you do. You understand the pain points. You understand why the dental hygienist would want it. You understand what it solves, what problems that platform is solving for. So why not create content for that company, run your own business, charge them $5,000 per month? I'm getting ahead of myself. But why not do that instead? I've watched countless people do this, from in the nursing space to the teaching space. All of you have got different facets that make you unique. All of you have different knowledge and skills in different areas. Why not start making content for the companies that are niche and unique to you? Don't just go after a makeup company. Don't go after hair products. Don't go after fashion. Everybody does. Pick something else. Be unique. It's that easy. Speaking of easy, corporate has trained you to be professional. It has trained you how to speak well. It has trained you how to follow up. It's trained you how to communicate. All of these are things that I find to be really, really hard to teach new entrepreneurs how to do. When I'm teaching new entrepreneurs these skills, there's a very large sense of like, you have it or you don't. Like, you need to develop it if you don't have it already. And the beautiful thing about you is that you already have these skills. You know how to be a professional. You know what to say. you know how to act, and you know what to do. And the beautiful part about your corporate background is it's not baggage, it's a niche for you. That is a beautiful niche that you can start creating content for because you already have the skill set and the knowledge base behind you to project you into that niche and start making at least 10K per month off of it. So don't look at your time in corporate as a waste. I do not want you to do that. Look at your time in corporate as time that you spent developing a new skill, and now we just need to apply those skills to building your own business. There are quite a few income streams when it comes to creating content. There's UGC deals, there's influencer deals, there's brand deals, there's face of the brand content, there's content agencies. What I do is a retainer-based model. So I sign a brand, let's say for $5,000 per month on a 6-month contract, all the way up to a 12-month contract, meaning let's say on the 6-month route, that's a $30,000 contract. I have to work with 3 brands every single month to get paid $15K per month. That's it. 3 brands, not 10, not 20, 3 brands. And because you worked in corporate, you know how to nurture those relationships. You know how to communicate. You know how to treat them well, which means I'm not worried about you retaining that client. The only thing that you need to learn is how to actually do the content piece and sell to those companies. Now, you're probably sitting here like, Natalie, I need millions of followers to be able to do this. And you really don't. My dad has got 200, not K. There's no K behind that. 200 followers, and he does this. I've seen girls that have less than 1,000 followers be able to do this. So do not let your following count be the one thing that stands in your way from actually taking your future into your own hands. The goal with this type of content creation is not to go viral, it's to build a client base and have you be the consistent face of their brand. None of this content even has to go onto your own page. So if you're like, all right, Natalie, I need to transition out of my corporate job, I completely understand, and that's what a lot of girls do as well. The beautiful piece of this is that most of your workers will never even see your content. So the cool thing about this is that none of the content goes onto your page. It all goes onto the brand's page. So the odds that anybody even sees it, slim to zero. And the cool thing as well is that you do not have to quit cold turkey. You can build this while you're also working your 9 to 5. It's just completely up to you as to what you make a priority in your life. So what are you going to do after your 9 to 5? So what does that 6 to 9 look like? If you can put aside even an hour a day to working on this, you will be able to do it. I'm going to be honest with you. The real reason that a lot of women just never start doing this is because they have a fear of failure. They've got a fear of being seen. They have a fear of telling their friends and family, hey, I'm actually going to quit my 6-figure a year corporate job to become a content creator. It's not their life, okay? Here's what I started doing because I got into a private school. It was a really, really great college, and I dropped out to run my content agency. What I realized was that I was no longer willing to accept people's opinions if they are not and were not where I wanted to go. If they were not living this life of freedom, both financially, time freedom, location freedom, if they were not living this life of freedom, I didn't want their advice. I didn't want to hear it because they didn't understand, because they had never even felt those feelings of freedom. They had never even experienced what that was like. Now, very thankfully, I came from a family that I said of entrepreneurs, and they all told me, go for it. You absolutely can do it. And I understand that not everybody has that type of support, which is, again, why I'm making this video. Now, not to be that person, but AI is absolutely coming for a lot of people's jobs. And you're probably sitting here like, well, Natalie, AI is coming for content creation. And listen, I might be sounding a little cocky when I say this, but AI is not coming to take over trust. Any business that is using AI with their content right now, do you trust them? No. Anytime somebody sniffs that an AI video is selling to them, do you think that those clients end up having, or customers, consumers have a good experience with them? Absolutely not. Again, the more that you wait, the more that you're thinking my job's going to stabilize, this whole thing. No. I don't think that people understand that this isn't just a fragile time in corporate America. This is a fundamental shift in the entire layout. What am I trying to say? The entire foundation of corporate America. AI is going to keep growing. AI is going to keep rising. AI is going to get better and better and better and better. And it's going to be able to do higher level jobs inside of corporate America. And I understand that quitting your job, it's sometimes not even about finances as much as it is about your identity. Like, you worked so hard through college to get the degree, then you worked so hard to get the job, and then you worked hard in the job. You did everything that people told you to do. And I understand that that can be really frustrating, which is why I encourage every single woman to start building a secondary income beside their 9 to 5. You don't have to quit their 9 to 5. You don't have to stop doing the thing. Maybe you even like your job. You do not have to quit to be able to start bringing in this security to your life. Start building stability into your right now, into your present. Do not wait for the future for that. And let's be honest, you already have everything that you need to be able to succeed in this. The only thing missing is the decision to actually take yourself seriously and to actually take your future seriously in this as well. And I don't say that to be all doom and gloom, but I do say that to hopefully show you that you're the one that has the power. It's not your boss, it's not your coworker, it's not your manager, it's you. You've got the power to be able to make the decision. Are you going to continue to put your finances, your time, your location freedom into somebody else's hands, or are you going to take accountability for that? And the beautiful thing is that we always have a choice. And this is something that I got to learn from one of my first business mentors, is that we always have a choice in what we do. We always have a choice in the matter. And if you choose to not build that secondary income for yourself, that's a choice. Not choosing is still chewing. Inaction is still inaction. The beautiful thing about this life is that we can make choices and we can just do things. And now today is the day that you need to choose. Are you going to let somebody else control your future, or are you going to take it into your own hands? If you are looking for a way to be able to build that secondary income, watch more of my videos. Truly, go watch more of my videos. I walk people through how to get started. And if you're interested after that, please feel free to apply to my academy. We would love to have you there. It is a women's only academy where I literally show you how to build the business model that I literally just walked you guys through. Let's go through and watch my free content so that way you can make the decision for yourself of whether or not you want to stay stuck in your job or if you want the freedom for yourself. Remember, inaction is still action and not choosing is still choosing. It's time to start choosing your future.